on my way to head off to work. And I wanted to talk about something, y'all. I know y'all like, dang, the last time you was talking to you was going to work. Yes, I went to work, went to sleep. Now it's in the morning, I'm going back to work. But I wanted to share something with you guys that, I noticed. So when I went to my other job, I went in there with a clear head, clear conscience, clear mind. Get myself, get myself ready for the day. I had to do some homework, but about 15 minutes before it was time for me to start, I started winding down, getting my mind ready because I know I have to work, right? So as I'm doing that, I noticed that as I'm looking at my peripherals, I'm seeing people looking at me like crazy, rolling their eyes, doing all this. You catch them like at a glimpse with it. And you're like, what the heck? Like, some people, you be like, you are so shocked because you don't even think that you have any vendetta or ill will to someone, or you've done nothing to them, okay? And do you see why I've done nothing to them? Not even, they couldn't even say I did anything to them. Well, one person will probably make up something that I did to them, but they know they would be lying, okay? Um, Especially at that job, because I keep things very light. The conversations that I have are extremely light, just because of the nature of the job, and the community that surrounds itself around it. I don't really try to go too deep in if not necessary. Another thing about me is that even though I love to conversate and I love to have discussions, I don't like to have small talk. I really discuss small talk to the max. Some people love small talk and they, thrive on doing it, and they make a lot of people and a lot of companions and things like that. But I promise you, I can't stand it. And although I can't stand it, I know it helps you in a certain way. So I practice on doing it. But even when I try it, y'all, it's a lot for me. It is a lot for me, okay? I want to take this headband off, but I know I'm gonna be cold. I know I'm gonna be cold when I have my little buns out. Um, and so, yeah, I just went on in, got myself down, and was getting myself ready for the day, and I just started seeing all these looks, you know, and seeing people rolling their eyes and things like that. And I was like, okay, whatever, that's part of the territory. Had this been me a couple of years ago, I would have been trying to find out, because I felt like when I went through a traumatic experience, it started, it made me so open that I wanted to, um, yeah, that's people pleasing. It made me want to see everybody's point of view, and I didn't want to offend anyone. But in the real world, when you start seeing things for what it is, people are going to be offended. And if you are trying your best not to offend anyone, guess who you're going to offend in the long run? Yourself, because you can't be your authentic self. And so, what I've learned is that, be true to who I am, without being regretful. You can be respectful as to being who you are, but don't stand in your truth. Stand in the truth, and be okay with it. And once I started doing it, I started seeing that a lot of people don't like me. A lot of people, I won't say I noticed that a lot. I see that a lot of people don't like me because they didn't like me. Some of them I knew already, like, didn't fancy me, but they kind of wanted to be around. But after going through this whole situation of standing in my truth and standing on my principles and having more boundaries, I see the people, they just go out of their way to attack me, to assault me with their words, their body movements. Sometimes they try to do it physically. It's been a roller coaster. I even have one of the people who like one of the supervisors over me, she got upset because I have favor with HR. And the reason why I have favor with HR is because HR, at the beginning, when they were asking people all over, like, can you help? If you have any of these skills, can you help? And so I felt like, I didn't come across this for an accident. And I made myself available. I said, yeah, I know how to do a lot of things they were asking about. I knew how to do. And I was there. It wasn't going to hurt me at all. And so I wasn't against it. I wasn't against showing out my skills and helping others. While some people did have that opportunity, they didn't. They didn't want to help. And so because of that, they chose to remember me because they still didn't have to later on, but they chose to remember me when things come up or when they have, extra things or they need someone to come in and speak to corporate or something like that. They'll bring me in. They'll bring me in and say, hey, and I didn't think so I ended up having the opportunity and to speak and have conversations with people that I would normally not have that opportunity to do, all because I let my gifts make room for me and I begin to help others. Okay, because we're not all in this world alone, and because of that, you know, some of those same people and some of the other people who were just watching in attendance became very upset with me because of that. It wasn't because of anything that I did, but now they're gonna say that I'm a brown noser, you know. And not only that, when you pull back or you getting all everything, you're just hogging everything. You're getting all the gifts and everything because people like you and all this. And it's like, no, I made myself available. Like people remember that. People remember that. But then when they have their opportunity, or they say, oh, it doesn't take all that until it's their turn. They feel like they want to do the same exact thing that you're doing. Okay. And so that's what I've been dealing with. And so I used to feel kind of bad about it, but I had to get stronger and and how I feel about myself, understanding how I feel about myself, how I feel about others, and understanding that what others feel about me or what they think about me is no longer my concern nor problem. It never was. It never was. And a lot of people don't like you because of themselves. They don't like you because they don't like themselves. And what you do, and I used to think that was crazy when people say that. When you hear other people, especially older women, tell me that. Older men used to tell me this too when I was younger. Like, people would get so mad at you because you're a happy-go-lucky person, and they're mad because they didn't let their light shine. There are things that they were supposed to do or they want to do, but they can't do it, or they want to do it, but they get nervous about it. They get nervous about it, and they're seeing you going on about your life and doing it and making the things happen. So it's like a reflector. Okay. Hi to everyone that is saying hello to me. I'm currently driving, so don't think that I forgot about y'all, anything like that. I'm almost close to my destination, so I will address everybody who's like, out there. But thank you guys for tuning in. So this is what I have been dealing with, especially today. I've been dealing with it for, I want to say, a couple of months. But it's getting better. It's getting better for me. Not to say that things are getting easier. It's just getting better for me because I'm understanding that when I stand in my truth and I see, I stand with my boundaries, saying that I'm going to stand in the uncomfortableness of people rolling their eyes at me, people who are trying to sabotage me or doing crazy stuff. I'm going to keep going no matter what. It lets me know that I am stronger than I think I am. I am who I say I am. I used to say, yeah, I think I'm a strong person and I'm a conqueror. I really do believe I'm a conqueror. But I didn't really, after a while, when I started going through a lot of turbulence and people coming after me in my adult life, it kind of made me rethink it, and being around other influences that try to deter you from who and what you are. Because there are a lot of people who would try to do that. That's another thing that people will do when they are insecure with themselves. They're going to try to project onto you. And sometimes that takes on with me, because I love to hear the opinions and the views of others, because I know I'm not by myself. You always want to have constructive criticism. But what I had to understand is that a lot of these people are not having constructive criticism. The only reason that they're having criticism, the only reason that they're having criticism is that um, they are weak within themselves. Okay. Um, let's see. Yeah, I look like I'm gonna have to block somebody in a minute, because I think they're trying to hide behind posts and try to say some crazy stuff. But that's common too. Like I said, that's just projection. That's just showing how weak people are. Um, but I had to get used to it. And when you stand in that truth, a lot of people are not gonna be able to rock with you. Okay, a lot of people are not going to be able to stomach it. Okay, they're going to try to deter you, to get you off of your square, to try to put that same energy in the air. But when you start saying no, and you say, okay, I'm not going to go that route, you're going to be by yourself on that limb of nastiness and spewing hatred and envy and all that other stuff, and jealousy and weak-mindedness. Um, then they don't like it. Okay, then they try to isolate you. They try to pinpoint you out. And then the good thing about it is that although I'm learning to get better at it now, I've had many instances where I had to stand alone. Okay, I've had many instances where it had to be just me and God. And so because of that, and because of that history, I know that I could do it before. And once you keep doing it, listen, you intimidate that person that tries to be a weakling, who tries to knock you down. Okay? And the thing you have to understand, like I said, it gives off a different energy, but once you stand in it, I promise you, once you stand in it, it's not giving them a leeway to step into your spot, because that's what they really want. People who come out and attack you, they really want your spot. If they didn't want your spot, they wouldn't even be thinking about you. Most people don't even look. Think about a drunkard. Do you see a lot of people try to attack a drunkard? No, but they try to attack a lot of celebrities. They try to attack a lot of people who got something. Okay? Nobody comes after somebody who don't have anything. So you got to think about that as an individual yourself. You might not be a celebrity by this world standard, but your energy gives off that. It gives off that frequency. If not, they wouldn't be over here posting on your thing. Just like this person right here, they wouldn't be posting on my thing like this. It's because what you permeate, you are who you are. Okay? And it's going to give out, it's going to separate. When you start walking into your authority and who you are, and all of that, it's a different type of energy. It's a different type of energy. And people, like I said, people try to shake you off and try to knock you off. But you got to remember, if you keep practicing and keep standing in it, guess what? They got to fall off. They got to fall off. Because they get that reflection of who they really are, which is a hater. An all day, every day hater. Okay? And so just remember that. Being honest is a different type of view, a different type of courage. A different type of view and a different type of courage. It's a different type of vibration. Okay? And so on that note, I'm going to get off of here. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem. Have a good one. Bye.